Hello everybody. So today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book tag, I think that's what it's called, video. I just answered some questions about the books that I've read so far this year, and then at the end of the video I'm going to go through all the books I've read this year, and I'm not going to give what they're about. I'm just going to say what I thought about them as quick as I can if I have like strong thoughts about them. So let's get started. So the first question that we have, I have them on my computer over here, so that's what I'm looking over here. But the first question is the best book I've read this year. And I've read a lot of good books, but I think the one that I remember the most, it's kind of long, so maybe that's part of why I liked it so much. I really wanted to do the best book, and I figured that would be the book that I thought of first and kept thinking of and had the most good thoughts about. It would be The Dance of Thieves by Mary Pearson, and I really liked this book. There were some spots that I was like iffy about, like I don't know, I read this a few months ago, so I don't remember everything about it, but what I do remember the most is that I absolutely loved it. And I'll just answer the question. I think this is my favorite book of this year so far. Question 2 was the best sequel I've read. I wouldn't say this is the best sequel I've read, but I think my favorite sequel for a different question, so I didn't want to do that, but this is a very close second. It would be The Elite from the Selection series. Third question is a new release I haven't read but want to. I don't have this book, but it's called The Swimming Kingdom by Tara Mafi. I don't think that the series is completely finished though, so I don't want to read it until the series is finished though. Number 4 would be the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So a release that I'm super excited for that hasn't released yet is The Brothers Hawthorne. It doesn't come out till the end of the year, I believe, but I have read the first 3 books in the series are on that shelf over there. The Inheritance Games, those 3 books, and I loved them so much. Number 5 is The Biggest Surprise. I didn't know what this question meant. Like, biggest surprise in the book, surprise that I like it, I don't know. So I did A Tale of Two Cities for this question. I read it for school this year. It was surprisingly, I liked it. I didn't like the writing because it is an old book, so I always struggle with that. I always like plots, but I can't understand the writing, or just the way it's written puts me to sleep. The next question is my favorite new author, and that would be Erin Phillips. I've fully read one of her books, which is 2 books that I'm going to read, but she has a few books that I don't know if she's a new author, but she's new to me. That's how I took the question. The next question was books that made me cry. Now, I'm a book crier. If there's any scene in a book that shows emotions, I will also show emotions. If it's super happy, I'll cry. If it's sad, I'll cry. If I cry a lot in books. So this one had 3. So I picked Glass Sword. It's part of the Red Queen series. And well, that's about that. And then I picked it's the last book in the Selection series, like the main series part of it. The last book that made me cry was the book by Erin Phillips that I've fully read. It's A Crown of Chains, and there's so many parts that I cried at. I know there's more, because I cry basically every single book I read, because I just get emotional. The next question was books that made me happy. A lot of books make me happy reading them, but I couldn't pick all the books. If I keep them, they probably would make me happy, or they're in a series and I can't get rid of them. But Vow of Thieves, the second book in the Dance of Thieves duology, whatever, the ending was so good. The beginning / middle kind of made me angry because of the situations, but this book, there are some books that I was happy that I was finished with them though, so I could have done that. The next question was the most beautiful book I've bought or been given this year, and that would be this Anne of Green Gables book, and it's so pretty. I love Anne of Green Gables. It's probably my favorite book of all time, or at least book series. I love the movies, the old movies. This book is so pretty. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the inside cover, it's so pretty, and I love it so much. The last question is books I need to finish by the end of the year. I picked 2 books for this. 2 books that I've been trying to get through for probably a year. I don't even remember when I started them, probably maybe a full year ago. I picked Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I think I started this book last summer. I'm on page like 260, I'm like halfway through it. The other book I want to finish by the end of the year is Little Women. I am like 75% through this. I thought I would love this book. I loved like Pride and Prejudice and like Anne of Green Gables, and it's not that I don't like classics, I just can't get through this one. Now it's time to say and give a note about every single book I've read this year. I own some of them I don't. I've read 30 books so far this year, and it is June 13th right now, I believe. So, the first book that I read this year and finished was Hamlet by Shakespeare. The next 3 books I read was the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I read Believe Me by Tara Maffey. I read the first selection book. Then I read American Royals and Majesty by Catherine McGee. And then the next book I read was We Could Be Villains. The next book I read was Rivals, also by Catherine McGee. It was the 3rd book in that American Royals series. The next 2 books I read were part of the selection series was The Elite and The One, and then I read Divergent by Veronica Roth. Then I read a book I hate. I wish I never read it. I wish I never got it. If he had been with me, don't read it. Then I read How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. Then I read Gulliver's Travels for school. Then I read Daughter of the Pirate King. I read Dance with These and Bow with These back to back. And then I read Daughter of the Siren Queen, Daughter of the Siren Queen. And then I read The Heir by Kiera Cass, read Red Queen, and read The Crown, the last book in the series. And then I read Glass Sword, the 2nd book in the Red Queen series. Then I read The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. And then I read the last 2 books in the Red Queen series, which is King's Cage and Warstorm. I hated Warstorm. It was super long too, and it was just not it. Then the last 3 books that I've read this year so far is A Tale of Two Cities Under Referred to School, which I talked about earlier. I reread A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tara Maffey. Then the last book I've read this year so far is A Crown of Chains by Erin Phillips, and I loved it so much. And then the book I'm reading now is A Bond of Briars, her ARC copy, her newest book. It comes out in October. I'm currently filming a video on it. Okay, that was all the books that I've read this year, and some questions about best books I've read, worst books I've read, sad books, happy books, all that. That was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think that's all I have to say about these books and the books I've read this year. Like I said earlier, I'm currently reading A Bond of Briars and the arc for Erin Phillips' new book. It comes out in October, the end of October, I believe. So go do some research about that. Maybe you'd be interested. But that is the end of today's video. Please like and possibly subscribe if you would like to. And I'll see you guys whenever I'm done with the video I'm filming now. Bye!